The young man in these photos is 37-year-old Alex Preddy, the one that was murdered by ICE agents today in Minnesota.
He had 6 grown, armed men on top of his body, trying to move and get away from them. They shot him.
This one made me stop scrolling, not because it was shocking, but because it felt wrong. An ICU nurse in Minneapolis was killed by ICE agents after trying to defend a woman. A regular guy, a working man, someone who helps people for a living. And what's interesting is how a lot of white Americans are reacting to this. You are seeing comments like, that could have been my brother, that could have been my co-worker, that could have been me. Notice are saying they just go to work every day, just trying to help people, not thinking they could have ended up in deadly situation just for stepping in. For many people, this isn't about politics. It's about how fast a normal situation turns tragic. One moment you are trying to help someone, next moment your life is gone. So when you hear white Americans reacting with shock and disbelief, it's because this feels close. It feels like something that could have happened to anyone. Let's look at how people are reacting to this.
He had 6 grown, armed men on top of his body, trying to move and get away from them. They shot him at least 2 times. I heard the gun multiple times. Broad daylight. No weapon in hand. He was actually on the ground trying to get up. He wasn't even fully standing when they shot him. This is going to happen dozens more times. It's happened before all this. And you guys are still going to justify it?
Do we have the Second Amendment or don't we? The 37-year-old man who was a citizen, who was a nurse in Minneapolis, was literally shot this morning in broad daylight. Was disarmed by the ICE agent before they fired 10 shots into him. Mind you, who also had a permit to carry. When he's already gone, they shoot him 7 more times. You can literally see the ICE agent pulling the firearm away from him and walking away. So the fact that DHS is literally sitting here and lying, saying he was charging the federal ICE agents with his weapon, then why didn't he take out those ICE agents before the shooting even happened? Yeah, the same people who say, don't bring a gun to a protest if you don't want to be killed. Yeah, the same please tread on me daddy crowd, who clearly has no idea how the Second Amendment even works. And this is happening just 2 weeks after they took the life of Renee Good, who was a citizen, mind you, when she had a clean record and they called her a domestic terrorist criminal agitator anyway. Renee Good and Alex Preddy both only had 1 traffic violation. Yeah, not criminals. Yeah, by the way, we have ICE agents also saying they're going to put us in a nice little database if we're caught recording them. Congratulations, America. You've lost your Second Amendment. Welcome to the surveillance state. To the people sitting here making excuses saying he shouldn't have been there, you might as well just say you don't believe in rights. They're literally saying here, why are people practicing their right to protest? You don't love America. You hate your fellow American neighbor. But your partisan brain rot runs so deep that you don't even care. They want to normalize federal agents abusing people on the streets. And according to Stephen Miller, they get absolute immunity. I think it's pretty clear at this point the same people who are cheering for what's happening right now will stop cheering when the boot comes down on them. They don't care who you are or who you voted for. They're going to put you in the Palantir database. Wake up, America.
The young man in these photos is 37-year-old Alex Preddy, the one that was murdered by ICE agents today in Minnesota. He was an ICU nurse, and reports are coming out by witnesses saying that he was only filming and only had the camera in his hand. If, it's a big if, there was even a weapon on him, he does have a legal right to carry one since Minnesota is a open carry state. Or, I'm sorry, conceal and carry. So, yeah, they murdered him. My bad. Minnesota is open carry.
An ICU nurse was shot dead by ICE this morning. 37-year-old Alex Preddy was exercising his right to record. They pistol whipped him and shot him point blank multiple times. Dead. There is no amount of mental gymnastics you can use to justify this. These untrained people are just killing people for no reason. I am so embarrassed and horrified for my country right now. Just when we think this can't get any worse, it does. This is what 77 million of you voted for.
I just watched a registered nurse from Minnesota be shot 4 times by Border Patrol officers. I just watched it. He was a nurse, the man that was just killed by Border Patrol officers. He was trying to protect a woman from ICE, and they literally pulled out while he was on the ground. They had already sprayed him with, it looks like, mace. He fell to the ground. They shot this man like 4 times. I just fucking watched an RN be gunned down in the street in Minneapolis by Border Patrol officers. The fuck are y'all doing in the middle of the street anyway at Border Patrol officers? What the hell is going on? It's the most horrific thing I watched. There was no this time. It was a car. They were in danger for their life. It was like 5 of them, just him. He was on the ground. They already had got him on the ground. They pulled out and shot this man 4 times. Nurse, he died at the hospital. I'm not going to post the video because I don't want to traumatize anybody else, but it was the sickest thing that I've seen in a very long time on video.
It's coming out that they took the witnesses. They detained the witnesses to that shooting. The girl in the pink jacket, we got to see that video. They took the witnesses. It's being reported. Also, from that video, from that execution style video, I couldn't be more clear of what happened to Renee Nicole Good. Jonathan Ross executed her too. That was a killing. Today was an execution. They unloaded a clip on a man laying down.
One of the biggest questions that remains right now about this latest ICE shooting in Minneapolis is who this woman in pink is. This is from the original video, and you can see her in the background filming this whole interaction, including the moments where the first shots ring out. So far, while we have gotten multiple angles of the shooting and the surrounding circumstances, we do not have this woman's POV. There's concern that this woman might even be in ICE detention. As Daniel says here, the Minnesota Tribune said that ICE has transported several witnesses of the shooting into detention. So could it be possible that this woman was detained by ICE? We do not know. So far, we have not seen or heard from this woman or the footage that she is taking on her phone of this. This footage, if we see it, probably provides the best view of what happened when ICE shot and killed that man this morning in Minneapolis. So as soon as we see this footage or hear about this woman in pink, I will keep you all updated and let you know. But for now, we're just going to have to wait and see and hope that this woman is okay.
They killed him in the street in broad daylight. They took his gun, they held him down, they beat him, and then they shot him. And the administration blames him for it. Kristi Noem came out there and without any investigation blamed that man for his own murder, and it was murder. It was murder. If you believe anything else, I don't know what Kool-Aid you're drinking, but it was murder. Deep down, you know the difference between right and wrong. You know it. And you've seen the video. You've seen plenty of videos that show that he was holding a phone and he was unarmed when they shot him. And they kept shooting him. And at one point, at the end of that murder, one of the ICE agents is clapping. Clapping. So if you still support this, There's something wrong with you. You're on the wrong side of history. You're on the wrong side of Christianity. I'm nobody. I don't even have a platform, but I am speaking the truth. They killed that man in broad daylight, in front of cameras. It's also being reported that one thing that they also did was try to pick up some of the observers, the witnesses. They tried to keep the actual police in Minnesota away from the crime scene because it is a crime. ICE agents have the right to do what is within their legal purview to do. That was not legal. And anybody with eyes knows that. And if you were just listening to Kristi Noem and DHS, if you were just reading that, you're going to think that this man was horrible, and he wasn't. He wasn't. He was trying to pick up a woman that ICE had pushed down. They sprayed him in the face. Don't ICE agents have tasers? Couldn't they have just zapped him? Wouldn't that have worked if they thought that he was some sort of danger to them? But you can see the ICE agent disarm him. So he did not have a gun when he was shot. He was down on the ground. His hands were down on the ground. Several agents were on top of him, and they murdered him. I'm not going to censor it. That is the truth. They murdered him. If you watch the video and think anything else, I do not know what is wrong with you. And to top it off, our leaders are going to do nothing. They need to be voted out. They need to be voted out. That's it. They need to be voted out. Just stay safe, y'all. Stay safe. Keep praying if you believe in God. Stay safe. All I can do physically is just sit here in my little bonnet and my heating pad. I do not have any power. Unless it's prayer. So all I'm going to be able to do is pray, and I am going to pray. But for those of you that can go out and physically protest, that can hold this administration to account with videos and things like that, please do so. Vote, do whatever you can. Contact your local and state and federal representatives, because this needs to stop. We are better than this. We can be better than this. Our citizens deserve better. We all deserve better, regardless of your political affiliation. This isn't the country I grew up in. This is wrong. This is wrong. It's just wrong. Regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of anything else, this is wrong.
We will not allow violence against our law enforcement officers, and we need state and local help. State and local law enforcement to help us coordinate to get violent criminals off the streets. Mayor Fry and Chief O'Hare just a few minutes ago did the opposite of that by omitting the fact that the suspect had a gun and magazines full of ammunition. In what looks like a situation, again, where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. So I really want
want to slow this down for a second because I believe the way this is being talked about kind of strips away the most important part, which is who this man actually was. The person who was killed wasn't some anonymous threat. He was just a veteran, someone who served this country, someone who, according to witnesses, stepped in because 2 women were being pepper sprayed by federal agents and he was just trying to get them out of harm's way. That's what he was doing, guys. Not charging agents, not committing any violence, not threatening anyone. He was trying to help people who were being hurt. And for that, he ended up dead. Really let that sink in. A veteran of the United States, killed by federal officers during a domestic enforcement operation while trying to protect civilians from excessive force. And the response from the people in power is the same script we've heard before. Justified, necessary, move on. This is what America looks like right now. Even serving your country doesn't protect you anymore. Even stepping in to de-escalate something doesn't protect you. Even being on the right side of history doesn't protect you. If a veteran can be assaulted or killed by federal officers in broad daylight and then reduced to just a footnote in a press release, then this is not about safety anymore, guys. This has become more about a system that treats force as the answer to everything and accountability as optional. And that's the context people need before they're told to just trust the narrative. And that's kind of what brings us to this whole White House using AI to alter images of protesters. This wasn't a random meme account, guys. This was an official government channel posting manipulated imagery to make a protester look emotional, unstable, and weak. No disclaimer, no transparency, just altered reality. Once a government shows you it's willing to fake the visual record, every statement they make about protests, violence, and use of force becomes suspect. Because images shape belief, and belief shapes consent. So when federal agents kill civilians, and then the same administration is caught manipulating imagery to control how dissent looks, you're not looking at 2 separate scandals. You're looking at one system doing 2 things at once. Applying force on the ground and manufacturing consent in the information space. That's not about public safety, guys. That's not about truth. It's just about power. And when power is willing to kill, then lie, then edit reality to justify itself, that's when trust collapses completely. If the government can't be honest about what we can see with our own eyes, then it has no credibility when it tells us who deserved to die. That's why these stories go hand in hand, and that's why people are furious. Because once reality itself becomes negotiable, all accountability just disappears.
In a city of increasingly tense anti-ICE protests, another shocking scene. Federal agents shove a group of demonstrators, squirting pepper spray at their faces. Phone in hand, Alex Pretty seems to try to help the female protester. Other agents pull him from behind. He's brought to his knees, seemingly resisting as agents push him down and strike him repeatedly. Others hold him down. Agents yell that he has a gun, which is then removed. Then, an officer with a handgun pointed at Pretty's back fires 4 shots. Alex Pretty was a 37-year-old intensive care nurse and a lawful gun owner, say police.
It's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. And today that campaign claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening.
Although video evidence thus far shows no sign Pretty brandished a gun, the Department of Homeland Security says this was his pistol, and agents acted in self-defense.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Local leaders questioned that account as hundreds of demonstrators gathering at the scene clashed with federal immigration agents.
We are under attack by this administration right now, and this is not okay.
Calls are only growing for President Trump to withdraw federal forces from this unprecedented operation that the administration says has brought 3,000 arrests.
How many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end?
posting on Truth Social, the mayor and the governor are inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous and arrogant rhetoric, alleging the pair had called off local and state police, forcing ICE agents to take their protection into their own hands. Homeland Security Secretary stressing that President Trump is prepared to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy the military if deemed necessary.
This will get worse and you need to be prepared. I'm not saying this to try and alarm you or scare you, but night will fall shortly in Minnesota. Today, a 37-year-old ICU VA nurse named Alex Preddy, who was filming ICE agents, was executed on the streets of Minneapolis. Governor Tim Walz has activated the Minnesota National Guard to protect federal and state buildings and also to assist the Hennepin County Sheriff with crowd control activities, basically to protect local law enforcement and protesters. We have the president calling Governor Walz and Mayor Fry of Minneapolis insurrectionists. I would not be surprised if the Insurrection Act is invoked in Minnesota or in Minneapolis. I always said they're going to trial run it in a metro area first. And with night about to fall, we need to be prepared for activities to escalate. That's just being honest. I don't have any intel. I don't have any information. But we've seen in the past, things get heated at night. And we know if the National Guard is being called up, we know that the federal agencies, they're also reinforcing themselves. So we need to be prepared. This will not be the end. This is only the beginning. And the things we are about to see tonight, tomorrow, over the course of the next week, will stay with us. We are scarred as a nation. We are scarred as a society. And the only way out is through. This stops when we say it stops.
Okay, everyone. It's too much now. I just watched a video. It's going around. I'm not going to post it here, but it's going around where ICE was trying to detain someone in Minneapolis. And they had him on the ground. They're kicking him. They're beating him. And it's like 7 guys on this one individual. I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. I don't know what was going on. They're trying to detain him. And an officer decides to pull a gun and shoot him. And they just load him up with lead. Shoot him while he's on the ground, lying on the ground. It's got to stop. It's too much. It's too much. This is not America. This is out of control. It's not self-defense either. This was a murder. Total murder by federal agents. You don't need to shoot an individual. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's dead. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, what his condition is. But you don't need to shoot someone when you got 7 federal agents trying to detain him. This is completely out of control, excessive force. I don't even know what to call this. This is fascism.
Nobody should lose their life for trying to do the right thing. And the fact that so many people are saying that could have been me says everything about why this story is written differently. Thanks for watching the video. Do well to comment, like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.